I've titled this The Road Taken but also Not Taken. So there are learnings from, what I did and what I did not do. And I hope, you will also, it will help you in making certain choices which will help you in your life. So, I've kind of structured my uh, talk in three parts. First is a very quick autobiographical note, which will put you and me in context that I am just another average person, nothing particularly special. We all have our ups and downs. And the second part is the larger part, which is going to be talking about the learnings and what you could potentially leverage from my own understanding and experience. And the third part is really a conclusion, which is how do we look at our lives and how do we build them. So, as consultants, we are dependent on slides, so I look back a little more than not. So I was an average student till class 8, playing a little, reading a lot. It's so funny now that I think about it that class 9 was possibly the first time I studied for an exam more than 5 days in advance. Till that time, the whole expectation from family was, "Tum pass ho jao." That is good enough. And, that's what I did. And class 8 is, when I had a string of failures and red marks all over my report card. My report card was withheld, a little unfairly in my opinion. And when I went to meet the principal with my father, he was pointing out, you have so many red marks, how can you do this? And, I had the gall to ask him, "Father, can I get computer science in class 9? And he just glared at me and said, "Okay, we'll see." And, that was what the situation was. But luckily, when I came to class 9, this computer science section was, a little bit exclusive. People with better academic grades were kind of, in this particular section. And I had a lot of new friends, a new environment, and, strangely, I flourished a lot. Also, computer science was a subject which I really was interested in, so I kind of breezed through that. I think maths, science, we had better teachers, very supportive classmates, and that academic environment helped me kind of, look up and improve my performance. In class 9 was the first time, like I said, I studied more than 5 days in advance for biology because I didn't want to do badly in biology. And the most funny thing happened in class 10, which is I stood first in school in my board exam in that ICSE best of 5. I couldn't believe it myself, let alone anybody else expecting. But something happened and okay, I got those marks. Came to class 11, 12. That is when, I think my academic performance really shot up. I think we had an even better set of teachers and I think some particular subjects like chemistry really did gel well with me, and I kind of consistently stood third in class because the students with Bengali second language always scored more than the guys in Hindi. So my position was relegated. Kuch bhi kar lo, you are going to be third. So I kept on coming third, etc., etc. And I'm class 12 also again I came third. Science may first, but second, third in overall school. And I made it to IIT. That was another dream. My father believed in it a lot more than I did. When I checked out my JE rank, I couldn't believe the rank. I actually had asked one boy next to me saying, "Am I looking at the same row or is it a different row?" And well, it was in. I made it to IIT Delhi, took up manufacturing science and engineering. A nice branch, I would say, mix of engineering, computer science, operations research. And I think that part was that part of life is something which most of you as students have passed. You've done your graduation, but for me, revisiting that period, it was really a new environment, right? Typically, IIT students, especially in our time, were really outstanding performers. People around me, JE 2, 3, you could only dream of those kind of ranks. But stupendous, I would say, performers plus very good individuals, So great time. I also, was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, gave me a kind of, interface with a lot of students, which I think gave me a very strong foundation. And that is what I would like to submit as one of the hypotheses, which we will build on later, that we should look at our different stages of our life, be it student, be it professional, etc., as foundations for the next. And how are we building that foundation? How are we leveraging, different parts of the experience is extremely important. And out of inspiration, out of nowhere, my parents would have said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I got interested in spirituality. I started meditation. And I got a lot of strength in the entire experience. And when I kind of, at the end of my stint at IIT, I was looking at, coming to, guess what? IIM Calcutta. Said, this is the right place for me. I'm based in Calcutta. My seniors from IIT Delhi just the previous year had excelled in IIM Calcutta. Plus, there was this, Center for Human Values, for which I was very interested. All of it said, go to IIMC. I took all my IIM interviews, the other IIM interviews, to practice for IIM Calcutta. This was the last interview. And the one institute I did not get admission to was IIM Calcutta. I got admissions for all the other ones. I wrote to the director, I said, look, I'm very serious about coming to IIMC, etc. I'm willing to trade places, nothing doing, obviously, kuch hua nahi. But very regretfully, I went to IIMA. But luckily, it turned out to be a life-transforming experience for me. I kind of really, found my calling in the MBA program with a lot of variety, different cross-functional understanding across different subjects. Luckily, I started with a bang. We had a subject in economics, and the first quiz we gave, somehow, I did well in it. And the first exam grades which came out also were the same economics. You know what? It's a paper which none of us understood. While writing the answer, I didn't know what I was doing. And most of the students didn't know what they were doing. But yet I got like the same first or second grade on that one. And somehow confidence stepped up again. And I did well in the first year especially. But what I really enjoyed in the campus was really the establishment of my spiritual practice. I joined a heartfulness meditation. I was looking for something to stabilize in my IT days. And I found this particular practice. They were a very good, set of trainers in Ahmedabad, a very good community, which really, I would say, gave me a wonderful, all-round experience. Not just the spiritual practice, but of also volunteering, but participating in that community. And it was a city in which I hardly knew anybody. So there were a lot of people whom I came to know, and that was a wonderful experience. And I continued in this system, throughout. I still, I'm practicing. I'm a certified trainer. Then came my career, right? So I wanted to take up marketing. So an IIM Calcutta-like experience again happened. The marketing firms thought this guy is going to go into consulting and finance, so they rejected me. And I ended up in consulting. And joined Coopers. Coopers was sold to, rather merged with Pricewaterhouse to become PwC. Then the consulting business got sold to IBM. So I went to IBM. And then last, amongst the larger companies, I was with Ernst & Young. So the companies kept changing with that one except job, but a lot of different experiences, a wonderful set of people, colleagues, seniors, clients I kind of got to work with. That is the benefit of the consulting career. I'm sure many of you are looking at consulting as a career option. Wonderful variety, extremely challenging assignments, and also you work at the C-suite level immediately, right? You're almost like presenting on day one to some senior persons. So, and very different kind of solution experiences, right from, I would say, doing performance improvement, digital transformations, doing absolutely hardcore, implementation-oriented work, tax-related support, and stuff like that. Later went on to start off my own firm, Destacto, and because, I actually, towards the end of my career in EY, I had plateaued out. And I had an anxiety disorder, something which I couldn't believe myself, but the moment the doctor prescribed me a few medicines, I took them for 1 month, I felt better, so I had to accept the diagnosis. And I shared this with all my colleagues very transparently, that this is why I want to kind of resign and move out for my health purposes. Everybody supported that, and I went on to start my own firm. And side by side, 2 of my friends in the US were looking at cybersecurity startup, and old friends right from school who really, then pulled me in with one qualification, तुम्हारे पास और कुछ काम नहीं है, तुम join करो. That's about it. So I joined that particular firm, and that's where I am right now. Right? So what are some of the key learnings? I think I would like to summarize this in 4 key buckets. Number 1, a strong foundation helps, right? There's never you're never too late to start on building your foundations. Health, communication skills, talking, interacting with people, intellectual curiosity, because life is keeping on going to change. right? Today you have AI, tomorrow you'll have quantum, some new thing will come. So we've got to be intellectually curious about what is going on in the industry. You may work across industries, you may work with different teams, different problems. So it's extremely important for us to keep on learning. But with all of that, is very important to also have a deep interest in where you want to grow. Take interest and you will find that you will become successful, is really something, which I would submit. Second point is, really speaking, trying our best. Nobody is perfect. Neither your bosses are perfect, neither are you, nor are you perfect. So it's important for us to keep making our best attempt. Where we really fail, I've seen most people, is first the assumption, what is my best? Each of us can do a lot more than what we are doing today. Almost all of us, if not everyone. Really speaking, we set our limitations in defining, this is all that I can do. This is my best. But is it really our best? Is the question. And one of my school teachers put this very, very succinctly, that instead of trying to do what you love what you have to do in life. Many a time, we may not have choices. We may end up doing projects, we may in a job, in a particular condition, life, like COVID. You are in a particular situation. You never asked for it. You never wanted to be there. But now that you are there, really enjoy the experience, do your best, and you will find you will succeed. May not be to the extent that you wanted or dreamt, but it will definitely take you a lot more than suffering the whole experience. That I don't want to do this, hey, I don't want to meet clients, I don't want to do back office work, I don't want to be in Calcutta, I don't want to be in India. We can keep on having no's. But once you are in a particular position, do your best, enjoy it, and you will find that you will excel. Second part is really this aspect of keeping on trying, right? When we try hard, a lot of things happen. A lot of people tend to support us. And I have seen that across clients, colleagues. Keep on trying to do your best for them, for a particular project, for a client, for a particular, let us say, institution, and you will find that people will support you, right? It's extremely important that also to keep on doing, and you will find sometimes, luck works in our favor. The larger the time, more and more chances keep coming. Like for example, with Destracto, one of my colleagues, ex-colleagues gave me a call. He said, hey, you are in Calcutta, why didn't you represent our software? We have an excellent product. And suddenly I found that, I became a channel partner for a bunch of software solutions. Something which I would never have thought about. A consultant suddenly say, hey, you are another salesman for a product. But it has given me another set of solutions, another set of new stories to take to my clients and make them more successful. So you never know where things will come from, but we have to be open. But last is a very important point. Till what time do we keep on persisting with something, right? I think many a time we have to take a decision that enough is enough, and now I want to, go out. Especially for those of you who will go to startups or to, start your own companies. There will be this decision. We've gone with this hypothesis, this business model. Is this really going to work? Are we burning investor money? Are we burning our own money, time, effort, opportunity loss? Where do we really give up and change? I think this is something which is very important, and consciously we have to keep on looking at it. The next part is, I would say, we can most probably not win alone. We must understand that it is really the ecosystem around us which enables us to win, right? Right from our parents, our family members, our friends, our teachers, all of this really comes together to help us succeed. And hence it's very important for us to invest in that. Do we have a family to go back to? Right? Many a times when our times are down, like for example, our previous speaker said, nobody believed in his aviation career. Now that is a time, your family is there to support you. It's so important to have that. A mentor network. People who will kind of, support you throughout your career journey. Maybe in the same company, maybe outside, maybe doing different things. I think that is something which is extremely important. And you need to invest in this web of relationships. Reaching out to people, at times I find LinkedIn, WhatsApp messages extremely convenient with less time, but, on their birthdays, anniversaries, work anniversaries, whatever have you, reach out to people, leave messages, being in touch. One of my ex-colleagues does this wonderfully. Every month I will receive a call from him, just catch up. And I'm not the only person. He may be calling up 20, 30 other people, but he's in touch with them. So tomorrow when you kind of, need any help from anyone, persons you've been in touch with will be open to help you. There's nothing wrong in asking for help. But when you come out of the blue, suddenly, hey, I want a job, I'm looking for this order, I want to look for this connection, it looks a little odd. We may hesitate. But if you've been in touch with people, and more importantly, if you also help them, you will not have this hesitation, and we will tend to grow together. And last but not the least, it's extremely important to share your vision with your colleagues, with your family members, etc., to get support. Like, for example, I do a lot of work right now around design thinking. So, and I tell you that my team is so committed to this concept of design thinking. The work they put in, the effort they put in is beyond, professional expectation. And that really gives me a lot of boost whenever I tend to talk to clients about it. But I'll again go back to my own experience and advise everyone that, look, whatever we do, whether we earn, we don't earn, whether we grow, we don't grow professionally, put our wellness first, right? Our physical health. If our bodies are not functioning, we are not going to be able to do anything. We can't enjoy whatever we have earned. We cannot enjoy anything that we have been given to, right? Right nutrition is extremely important. I think a lot of students and young people are compromising on that, right? We grew up largely eating home cooked food, but today, there's a lot of ordering out, let's eat outside, etc. And you need to be very careful about what kind of food is going into our bodies, because that is ultimately going to present us a bill sooner or later. And nowadays it is more sooner than later. Invest in your mental health and stress management. Earlier lives were very simple. People used to typically come back home at 6 o'clock, they had their families, addabaji, all of that. Today we are spending extended hours at work, putting night outs. That all of it ultimately, adds up to the stress on the body. It may not seem unnatural today when you're putting night out after night out. But one day the body is going to tell us that, hey, you did this to me, so here is a bill for it. And it's so very saddening that we find youngsters who should have been happy, who should have been carefree, are today so loaded with stress, especially children in colleges. There are so many challenges around them. There's so much expectation, either internal or societal expectation. And we find that, I remember during my IMA placement days, the pre-placement time was very, very tense. Almost every student around, you could see, was, loaded with, strain and stress. Good friends almost not talking to each other in some cases. And, I was, because of my meditation practice, I remember telling my trainer, when he asked me, he said, I hope you are not worried. I said, uncle, I am worried that I am not worried. Everybody else seems to be worried and tense, but, I am not worried. So something wrong with me. And he said, look, this is the experience of meditation that you are having. And that is something which, I have carried it out throughout my career because of the practice. It's a major, if I can say, steam release. And each of us has to find our own steam release. Some may find it in a sport, some may find it in social gatherings, some may find it in travel. But we need to keep on doing this, right? And last but not the least, I think, never give up. We will always have low phases and high phases. Most people have an average life. It's an average means some highs and some lows. You'll always be good in something, you'll have some luck, and you'll have some bad luck. So never to take the lows too seriously, as well as, the highs too seriously. Last, I would like to leave this thought with you. Like we see on a car, there are these different gauges. And this is really speaking what we need to do in life. When I made this slide, I was amazed myself. Really speaking, what keeps us going in life is our purpose. That why am I doing this? Why am I alive? Why am I, what am I going to do today? Why am I going to do that? Right? And that is our North Star, always guiding us. And that is like the navigation, panel or device what you are using in a car or in a vehicle, right? And these are the questions that we need to keep ourselves. What does the speedometer tell us? Like, how fast are we going? So whatever you are doing, we need to ask ourselves, am I moving at the right pace, right? When you are in an organization, like, for example, am I getting promoted at the right places? Am I getting the right roles in the right duration? Am I left behind? These are warning signs for us to do course correction, to seek feedback and learn. The odometer, which tells us how much distance have we come. Even the boy who is in IIMCalcutta, who is last, has come a long way. You have done so much of schooling, you've done your graduation, right? You are last in IMC, doesn't matter, you still have come to IMC. There's nothing to, feel extremely sad about. The fuel gauge, we may have come a long way. How much do we have in ourselves to go further? Right? Be it knowledge, be it energy, be it motivation. We have to keep on looking at this. Can I make it to the next 15, 20 years? Are my skills going to be relevant? Is my attitude right? Am I going to be able to survive in the competitive era which is coming up? That's extremely important. And if you don't have enough fuel, top it up. Keep learning new things, develop new capabilities, new options for yourself. The temperature gauge, which tells us what is our condition. Am I in good health? Am I in good spirits? And we have to keep on looking at that. If the temperature is too high, we need to take corrective action, right? And that is what I would like to leave you with, is really speaking, keep looking at these gauges, develop a dashboard for yourself, and you will find that you will, in over a long period, be happy, be successful, and most importantly also, align to the purpose that you have. It's extremely easy to lose our purpose or the direction, comparing ourselves with others who may have other purposes, who may have other interests and objectives, but keep sticking to your goal in life and you will get there. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on luck, but ultimately, it's when we look back at the odometer, we should feel we've come a long way and in the way that we wanted to. Thank you and wish you all the best.